When Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine in February 22, few people could have imagined that the Ukrainians would be able to offer serious resistance to Russian forces in the Black Sea theater. Through a combination of asymmetric warfare tactics, employment of different types of equipment, and sheer determination, Ukraine managed not only to prevent larger Russian landings on the Ukrainian coast, but also to cripple the Russian naval blockade, force Russian warships to retreat, and deal serious blows to the Black Sea Fleet. In this video, we will review all Russian naval losses during the war with Ukraine. That concerns warships that have been visually confirmed to be either destroyed or damaged in any way. The first known occurrence of a Russian warship being hit by Ukrainian forces happened on March 21, 2022, off the coast of then-besieged Mariupol in southern Ukraine. A Raptor-class patrol boat operating off the coastline was targeted with an anti-tank guided missile by Ukrainian soldiers defending the city.
Попади, брат. Есть, сука! Пизда ему.
According to reports from the Russian side, the warship suffered damage and had to be evacuated to Yeisk in southern Russia, while 2 crew members got injured. No footage from the aftermatch made it to the public to this point, so we never get to know the real extent of damage suffered by the vessel on that day. On the morning of March 24, 2022, Ukrainian strikes with Tochka ballistic missiles targeted Russia-occupied port of Berdyansk in southern Ukraine. At the moment of the attack, 1 Russian Tapir-class and 2 Ropucha-class landing ships were moored in the port. What's noteworthy is that the Russian media announced the arrival of warships in Berdyansk a few days before the strike. The impacts of Tochka missiles cause fires and ammunition detonation on board Saratov. While the vessel is burning and exploding, 2 Ropucha-class landing ships begin to maneuver in an attempt to leave the port. The missile strike in Berdyansk was a first Ukrainian attack on major Russian naval assets during the war, while Tapir-class landing ship Saratov became the biggest warship destroyed in combat since the Falklands War in 1982. But that was only a prelude to what would happen a few weeks later. This footage shows the flagship of the Black Sea Fleet, Slava-class guided missile cruiser Moskva, leaving the port of Sevastopol for what would become its last voyage. In the evening hours of April 13, 2022, while sailing through the Black Sea waters, Moskva gets hit by 2 Ukrainian Neptune anti-ship cruise missiles. After listing for several hours, the warship ultimately sinks on April 14th. To this day, it's not entirely clear how many sailors from Moskva's original over 400-strong crew have been killed, wounded or evacuated. According to the official statement from the Russian Defense Ministry, 1 crew member perished, 27 went missing, while 396 managed to be evacuated. Citing a source close to the Black Sea Fleet Command, Medusa reported that 37 of Moskva sailors lost their lives. In November 22, a court in Sevastopol acknowledged the death of 17 crew members who were initially counted as missing. The sinking of Moskva missile cruiser became one of the most memorable events not only of the naval warfare between Russia and Ukraine, but also of the whole war. Moskva, a symbol of the Russian naval power in the Black Sea region, was sunk by the country without a navy. On the first day of the Russian invasion, Moskva approached the Snake Island and relayed a surrender ultimatum to the Ukrainian garrison. To which Ukrainian soldiers responded. And so it did. May 2022 was a month of heavy fighting around the Snake Island, which was captured by Russian forces in the first days of war. At that time, the Ukrainians have begun to excessively employ Turkish-made Byar TB2 drones for strikes against Russian naval assets in the Black Sea waters. On May 2nd, two BK-16 high-speed assault boats are hit with guided munitions fired from Bayraktar. Both are destroyed. The hunt continues on May 7. Two Raptor-class patrol boats, as well as the Serna-class landing craft, are struck by Bayraktar drones. On June 17, 2022, a rescue tug Vasidbe carrying military personnel, ammunition and equipment is heading to Russia-occupied Snake Island in order to resupply a Russian garrison stationed there. While on its way, the vessel is hit by two Harpoon anti-ship missiles that were supplied to Ukraine by Denmark. The strike is monitored from a Bayraktar drone. Vasidbe sinks. According to available information, 11 people from its 23-man-strong crew perished as a result of the attack. The events from October 29, 2022 marked the beginning of a new chapter in the history of naval warfare. For the first time, aerial and naval drones are employed in a coordinated attack on enemy naval assets at anchor. On that day, several Ukrainian unmanned surface vessels infiltrate the perimeter of the Sevastopol naval base in the Crimea. The available footage from this operation shows that Ukrainian USVs were able to, at least, approach the Admiral Makarov frigate. It's possible that the warship suffered some kind of damage, yet no visual evidence of that ever surfaced. During the same attack, at least one Ukrainian naval drone reached and hit the Evanglass Minder-class minesweeper. The vessel was struck in the stern area. After the Ukrainian drone operation in Sevastopol, Russia announced it is suspending its participation in the grain deal that was signed in June 22. After almost a year-long pause in attacks on Russian naval assets, Ukrainian USVs returned in style. In the early hours of August 4, 2023, multiple sea drones approached the Russian Novorossiysk naval base located on the Black Sea coast. The target is the Ropuka-class landing ship Olenorski Gornak. At least one of the drones manages to hit the vessel to its port side. Following the strike, the Russian warship starts to list heavily. Despite serious damage, Olenorski Gornak is ultimately brought to the shore, being towed by tugboats. A few days after the attack, a close-up photo showing the extent of damage suffered by the warship surfaced on Russian social media. In September 2023, Turkish-made Bayraktar TB2 combat UAV also makes its comeback. This strike targeted a Russian small patrol boat while it was unloading personnel somewhere on the Ukrainian coast in the northwestern part of the Black Sea. In the early hours of September 13, 2023, Ukrainian forces launched a remarkable missile attack on the Sevastopol shipyard in the Crimea. The Ropucha-class landing ship Minsk and improved Kilo-class diesel-electric submarine Rosto of Nadunu, that were undergoing repairs in the dry dock at that time, are struck with Anglo-French Storm Shadow/Scalp EG air-launched cruise missiles. Both vessels suffer damage beyond economical repair. Despite heavy damage it received, Russian authorities declared its willingness to fully repair and restore the Rosto of Nadunu submarine. In July 2024, a source in the Russian military-industrial complex told TASS that the submarine successfully left the dry dock following repairs, which will continue afloat. On August 2, 2024, reports appeared about a new Ukrainian missile attack on the Rosto of Nadunu. The Ukrainian side claimed destruction and sinking of the vessel. Although the current fate of the submarine is not entirely known, it's presumed to be a wreck that will never sail again. On November 4, 2023, Ukraine launches a missile attack on the Zaliv shipyard located in Kerch, Crimea. As a result of the strike, a modern Karakut-class corvette, Ascort, is critically damaged. At the time of the attack, the warship was undergoing trials and was about to be commissioned into the Russian Navy. Storm Shadow/Scalp EG cruise missiles changed those plans. As Storm Shadows catch a break, Naval Drones are back. November 10, 2023, multiple USVs operated by the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine infiltrate the Chornomorsk naval base in the western part of Crimea. One Ondatra-class and one Serna-class landing craft are hit and damaged. According to Russian sources, the two vessels were later transported to Sevastopol for repairs. This is the end of part 1. The part 2 should be released in the coming days, so consider hitting that subscribe button to not miss any loss. Thank you for watching, bye for now.